Hi everyone, this is Samthing Soweto, and you're tuned in to the Pulse.
Mike in Check, what's good? This is the Pulse once again. We're here at the Old Biscuit Mill, the Sunday edition, and we're chilling with the Samkelo. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. What is this place? The Old Biscuit
The
Mill.
Old Biscuit Mill, yeah.
Yeah, because like I was asked um, just now in the conversation, and I didn't know where I was. The Old Biscuit Mill.
No, it's called the Old Biscuit Mill.
Why is it called that?
I think because this is gonna sound retarded, but I think this is where they used to make biscuits.
Right, because I see there's like a
Yeah,
painting written like flower.
I think, yeah, I think so. But then I think then they turned it into this creative space.
Right.
From your music back then, the ones that I've been following, and I still have Ebsuku still jamming.
Yeah, and you sure your audience do they know I'm a singer?
Yeah, they do. They do. It's a music show.
Oh yeah, okay, cool, cool.
Yeah, they do. But I want to know: are we going to get like another edition of Ebsuku, or was that at a particular phase in your life?
I mean, I always revisit my music,
Mm.
and and the renditions I'll be doing at the time when I revisit it will be reflecting my creative ensemble or space at the time. Uh, it's crazy. Like I have a few projects out, and then I have many singles out that are out there, and people always come up to me and they ask me to do this song or that song, and I'm not always prepared to do those songs, to be honest, because I don't live with those songs right now. I live with specific songs at any particular time, and often what happens is that I need to constantly find a way to bring them back. So when the time is right, I'll definitely revisit the music, but it has to be, it will be most definitely, it won't be the same. It'll be unique to the time. The one unifying thing or the one similarity of all these sounds is my voice. So you can guaranteed you'll have my voice in that music. And that's going to be the thing that's similar in all those sounds. But I'm definitely going to expand my vocabulary in like my music vocab. I have to.
And I'm actually happy that this is happening because for the longest time, like, you guys need to catch up. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
as a fan, because your voice is one of those voices, man. It's captivating, firstly, and
Right.
even
Thank
like
you.
the melody and all it just sticks with you. And some of the songs also, personally, there's a song. This is for the fans.
Oh,
Were
yeah.
you addressing something there?
Yeah, I was. I was addressing like, so I left the soil, and the rumor in Joburg, I don't know about any other place, was that I left because like I was a druggie and I was like troublesome and whatnot, and that was far from the truth. The real truth was that I had a fallout with the guy who actually signed us as the soil. And the problem that I had with him, with Babsipos Tole, was that he was trying to have me focus on one thing at a time. And at the time, I just wasn't hearing that. It didn't make any sense. So we had a fallout because of that. But later in my life, I realized he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. Like I was supposed to just focus on one, and then do as much as I can on, because one meaning one sound meaning with the soil, because at the time I was doing the soil, the fridge, and I was also recording at Samthing Soweto. Most people don't know that. Like at some point I was doing all three,
Really?
and that's when the trouble started.
Ah.
And uh, basically I felt like he was trying to take away what I believed was my salvation.
Trying
The
to box
thing,
you in.
yeah, the thing that helped me change my life from a very troubled kid, a very like an addict, and when I stopped all those things, I started music. So to me, music was my addiction, and music was my newly found thing, and I felt like he was trying to take away from that. And what would I be left with? But that's also like, lack of understanding of what he was trying to do. He's a businessman. He's trying to get me to do one so we can make the most
Yeah,
money on one,
exactly,
you know?
Exactly.
And yeah, I mean, we just didn't agree on that, and that's what happened. But the rumor, for some reason, like everyone was like, nah, he's on like some drugs or whatever, and I was addressing that, like, and I was thanking everyone who's still around, because people, you know, some people fled, you know. The soil became and is still like the biggest thing as far as bands are concerned, and groups, and a cappella groups and whatnot, and I was left out of that, you know. And people thought, nah, he's left out of that because of 1, 2, 3, and it wasn't what they thought it was. It was just a disagreement with, and it's not. I can't even call it a business disagreement. I mean, he can call it that because he was thinking about business, Wapsi was taught. And yeah, like I just didn't agree with the methods he was trying to use to cultivate my art. So music went from being the most important thing in my life to, you know, somewhat of a tool to fend for my family. And if that wasn't gonna happen, then I wasn't gonna play this game anymore, you know. And funny enough, that's when things started to happen. And I was ready for them to happen because when they started to happen, I was a different character also, you know. I had to start interacting with people a different way. I had to stop being shy and nervous and da da da. Yeah, I'm still nervous, but I'm not like the version of nervous that I was at the time, and I can talk to people, look them straight in the eye and stuff, and that was never the case at the time. So I just had to stop. Like me being a father helped me. I was like, yo, I'm not gonna be a shy father. It makes no sense. So, so with that, I took that type of attitude into my music, and I started like not being so shy about certain things and hiding away from things that I knew I could do very well. And I just wore this blanket of confidence, and I moved forward. And that's when, for example, things started happening. Like Agana Mali started happening for some reason at the very same time. And I started having like all these opportunities to speak on yeah, I've always spoken on radio, but like it was like major radio stations and major media companies and major publications like Drum Magazine and stuff, and I was supposed to be there and represent myself to the fullest, and I think I did, you know. But yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do that if I wasn't going through what I was going through as a father, and understanding that it's not only about me anymore, you know. It's not just about me and being a great artist. Yes, I want to be a great artist, but that's not, I'm sorry to say, that's not really all that I am anymore. I'm more now, and I can draw from those experiences to help me with this, you know. And I think it balances out, and it also helps me with my life. Yeah.
One of the most important things that I wanted to ask you as well.
Sure.
Here in Cape Town, there's a lot of struggling girls.
Yeah.
Um,
And you know, I thought there was a myth.
No.
You know, I thought like Cape Townians have everything sorted, resources are on fleek.
nah.
Like
No.
I thought that till recently actually.
Not at all.
Really? Yeah.
There's a lot of struggling artists. I would say one of the things that I did pick up majorly is that everybody just wants to be on their own vibe. I don't know if maybe it's a lack of support of each other, but the thing is as well, apart from the lack of support, it's just that they don't know how to put themselves out there. And I find myself asking, maybe is it a Cape Town thing? But then you find that an artist will move to Joburg, and then the same thing will happen.
What do you mean they move to Joburg and then they still are not like successful?
Still not popping. Because maybe a person will think that no, it's a Cape Town, like it's the curse of Cape Town. Let me move to Joburg.
Right.
Go to Joburg, but then still nothing. Is there maybe something you think they should do differently?
Yeah, most definitely. So here's my take on it, right? As an artist, you need to understand who you're talking to. You know, I've always known that when I make songs, I'm basically talking to a black populace. And that was always like my primary focus. Like I was talking to a black populace that occupied townships, because that's what I knew. And I think even with the soil, even when we were doing the soil, we knew exactly that we were going to talk to Amakasi and be that voice, you know, and yeah, of course, when you start monetizing it and you start making money, then you open your demographic. Then you're talking to a lot more other people from different backgrounds of the world and and all those things. But I feel like as South Africans, most artists don't know who they're talking to. You know, like they'll make songs and use phrases that are never used where they come from.
Can't relate.
Yeah, so like how do you then talk to people using a different language? Because that is in its essence is not the language that your people talk, speak in, so or use. So, and you need to really understand your demographic. You need to understand who you're targeting. Where are they? Who do they listen to? What do they like? Where do they chill? Where do they eat? You know, you need to be aware of those things. I've always been aware of those things. You know, that's why when I go to like certain places where it emulates the space, it emulates, you know, the demographic I'm trying to reach, it's easy. Like for example, I'll make an example. I was playing a show called Little Gig, like 2 weeks ago, I think, here in Cape Town, in Stellenbosch, and everyone who was there, who was not working, was white. Everyone in attendance who was not working on that day was white. You know, and everyone who was working, the majority of the people who were working, who came from different spaces in Joburg and other places, who were there to entertain, to run shops, to the majority were black. And I remember, like, I was supposed to go on. I went on stage at like 9 a.m. in the morning because it's a 24-hour festival. It's a great festival. You pay this amount. I don't know how much it is. Then you get everything for free.
Okay.
Like you get food like the whole day, like food, drinks, like all the high quality. There was champagne being served. They had a store, Woolworths, where you could get like biltong and like all the expensive things that you can't get for yourself like on a random day. It was there all for free. And I'm talking about like the most amazing food. I'm vegetarian. They had a vegetarian section. It was awesome. But you know, that didn't help like when I was supposed to go on. Like when it was my time to go on. And I looked at the demographic and I was like, yo, I've never written for like white people who live in Stellenbosch. And like, you know, I've never really made music for them. So I started panicking. Like, how am I gonna, exactly, how am I gonna like perform for these people? Because I've never like sat down and was like, yo, we all want to play all the crowds in the world. But that's when I realized that, yo, my understanding of my market is so intricate to a point where I was constantly playing for my market until that day. And I was not even overseas, I was in Stellenbosch. And the majority of the audience there was white. And I just couldn't, I was scared, you know, but I went on and I only got at maybe the second last song, that's when I started loosening up. Because I could tell that these people are not judging. They're here to experience.
They're actually embracing
the
music.
They're here to experience. And if I knew that going in, I would have had a different attitude towards the performance. But I was shit scared when I started like performing. I was like, oh man, what am I gonna do? Like I've never really like performed for white people. You know, I've always like my phrases and the things I talk about, like there's a song called Skad, or we speak like that in Soweto. But I can explain that to any black demographic, like, and I feel like they might get it, you know. But for a white one, it was really nerve-wracking, you know, and yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Like artists need to truly understand, and they need to have my problems. You know, the problem where you go into a place, you're like, oh shit, I didn't write for these people. That's when you know this person is really channeling a particular vibe towards a particular people. And I believe when you're doing that, for sure, people respond. People respond, you get your market, you start selling CDs, you start selling T-shirts, because you're talking to a demographic that is clearly defined. It's not just a thing. I'm just a singer. Like, you know, like you can't do that.
Yeah, I also think that some people aren't in it for the right reasons. Maybe some are in it for the love of music, they're in it for what the music can get them.
No, I mean, like, okay, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay.
Like, people need to be on the music, in the music for whatever reason. It moves the culture forward. Is it a monetary culture? These people didn't invent monetary culture. It was there. Like, part of the reason why there is a music industry is to increase someone's bank account to some degree. Now, I'll tell you also this, nah, if you're gonna demonize a system that works for your benefit, like for example, if you are gonna make a hit song, you're gonna make all the money in the world, right? And you're gonna change your circumstance, you're gonna change your family circumstance, you're gonna change everything around you to be better. Now, how is that bad for you? Yeah, you can't demonize it. You can't demonize a system that you're trying to be part of. And you can't fight it from the outside. So you have to learn it, be part of it, understand it, have it be be inside of it, have it value you, and then you can change it. Like, you can't tell people what to do if they don't value your opinion. So how do you get them to value your opinion? Maybe if we're playing a monetary value, then a monetary game, then maybe I'll make more money than anyone around here. And then they'll be like, yo, he's the richest guy here, let's listen to him. And then you're like, forget the money. You know, that's when you can say it, and people are gonna listen. You know, but if you don't have money and you're constantly telling them, forget the money, they're like, what are you talking about? We don't value your opinion. You're not contributing towards this system, I think. That's crazy, right?
I think we're just gonna have a conversation here the whole day, but thank you for your time, and that was very insightful. I appreciate it, and I'm actually looking forward to your set today.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it too, man. Thank you.
Thank you.